"You're fired," for showing compassion. The words hit like a thunderclap in the sterile hallway as Nurse Emily Carter stood frozen, eyes wide, hands trembling. Just moments earlier, she had knelt outside the emergency entrance, pressing her palms against the frail chest of an unconscious elderly man. CPR, oxygen, defibrillator. She moved like muscle memory. She hadn't waited for protocol. She hadn't even thought twice. The man was collapsing just outside the hospital doors. He was dying. She saved him. But now, standing before the hospital administrator, she felt her world crumble. "You had no authorization to treat him," the administrator said sharply, arms crossed. "You breached hospital grounds. That is a direct violation of our code." Emily's voice cracked. "He's a veteran. He was in distress. I couldn't just watch him die." "You're suspended, pending termination," came the cold reply. Humiliated and heartbroken, Emily returned to her locker. The stares of co-workers cutting deeper than any scalpel. Some looked away, others whispered. A few offered silent sympathy, but no one dared speak up. Emily had been one of the most dedicated nurses in the hospital, 10 years of spotless service, dozens of lives saved. None of it mattered now. The man she saved was James Thompson, a retired Marine and 2-time Purple Heart recipient. His granddaughter Lisa heard what happened and was furious. She posted on social media, "My grandfather was saved by a nurse. Then she got fired for it. How is that even real?" Her post exploded. Within hours, the story went viral. Thousands of comments poured in: rage, disbelief, solidarity. Hashtags like #Justice for Nurse Emily and #Compassion is not a crime trended nationwide. Local news picked it up first, then came national media, and then the veterans. 3 days later, a line of veterans in uniform stood outside the hospital, flags in hand, demanding Emily's reinstatement. Among them was General Robert Hayes, a decorated war hero and lifelong friend of Mr. Thompson. He wasn't there for interviews, he was there for justice. He marched straight into the boardroom, flanked by fellow officers. The room fell silent. "I've led men into battle. I've seen courage under fire," he said, voice like gravel. "What Nurse Carter did, that's courage. That's duty. That's what we fight for. If you punish her for saving a life, you dishonor every value this hospital claims to stand for." The board members squirmed, some fidgeted, none could look him in the eye. Meanwhile, crowds grew outside. Nurses joined the protest on their breaks. A Change.org petition reached 500,000 signatures in 2 days. Media vans clogged the parking lot. The hospital's reputation crumbled by the hour. Finally, under immense pressure, the hospital issued a statement. "After an internal review, Nurse Emily Carter has been fully reinstated. We recognize her actions were driven by compassion and heroism. We deeply regret the decision to suspend her." When Emily returned, it felt like a scene from a movie. Her fellow nurses stood in the corridor, clapping. Doctors nodded with pride. Patients cheered. She walked back to her station through a tunnel of applause. But the moment that truly broke her came later that afternoon. Mr. Thompson, now stable and smiling, arrived in a wheelchair, a bouquet of sunflowers in his lap. His voice trembled as he took her hand. "You didn't just save my life," he said, tears in his eyes. "You reminded this place what it means to be human." Emily cried openly, not from sadness, but from sheer, overwhelming relief. She had questioned everything: her career, her instincts, her heart. But in that moment, she knew she'd done the right thing. Rules may be written in ink, but compassion is etched in the soul. And as the hospital administrators quietly watched from behind their glass office, the message was clear. This was not just a victory for Emily, it was a victory for humanity. So sometimes the bravest thing you can do is break the rules, for the right reasons. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and drop a karma in the comments below.